No matter how fond you are of the humble Snickers, it's no secret that America has got nothing on the rest of the world when it comes to candy. We could probably learn a thing or two from other nations' use of exotic flavors and surprising textures. Let's take a look at some of the candy America wishes we had. Chicken bones. Okay, so the name doesn't sound too appealing, but these sugar pink candies made by the confectionery company Ganong Brothers have been a big hit in Canada since 1885. Thankfully, their poultry-based namesake has little to do with the actual flavor, as these little sticks of goodness actually consist of a soft chocolatey center coated in a crispy cinnamon crunch. Many Canadians will have fond memories of chomping down on handfuls straight from Grandma's candy dish or carefully sucking them down to a sliver to melt the chocolate filling inside. According to the CEO of Ganong, the sweet and spicy flavor can be polarizing, but this oddball candy has earned a cult status for its unique appeal. Chicken bones, which are especially associated with Christmas time, are handcrafted, and only 3 candy makers in the Ganong plant are trained to make them, which is seen as a position of real prestige. Cherry Ripe. Cadbury is one of the most well-known chocolate brands in the world, but how many people can say they've tried this candy bar? Well, if you're an Aussie, then the chances are you can find the Cherry Ripe bar at your local store. In fact, this is Australia's most popular candy bar, and it's been around since 1924 when it was produced by McRobertson Chocolates. The Cherry Ripe consists of, you guessed it, juicy ripe cherries mixed with moist coconut and covered with a layer of dark chocolate. The Cherry Ripe is unique to the land down under, and you certainly won't find it in the standard candy aisle anywhere in the US or Europe. Seems like America is all about doubling down on the chocolate, caramel, and nuts rather than mixing fruit into our candy bars, so cherry fans can only dream about biting into a Cherry Ripe for now. Hall Flakes. Speaking of fruity candy, check out these Hall Flakes, which hail from China. They may look like thinly cut Spam, but as the name suggests, these traditional coin-like candies are made from the sweet and edible hawthorn berries. Pulp from the fruit is formed into discs 2 millimeters thick and then packaged into cylindrical stacks with packaging that looks kinda like kid-friendly fireworks. Their wrapper isn't the only potentially risky thing about Hall Flakes, because in the past they were said to contain an artificial coloring known as Ponceau 4R, which is unapproved by the American Food and Drug Association. Each firm disc becomes soft and chewy when eaten and is usually said to pack a distinctive tart punch, while others liken their taste more to a strawberry. Hall Flakes also don't travel too well overseas, so unless you visit an authentic Chinese supermarket, you may never get to try them yourself. Bacon Tasty Kit Kat. If there's one candy Japan loves the most, it's Kit Kats. I'm not just talking about the humble chocolate-covered twin wafer though. There's a whole range of exciting flavors to choose from in the Japanese candy aisle. From matcha green tea to spicy wasabi, there's something for everyone. There's one uber cool Kit Kat that beats all the others though, the Bacon Tasty. We've all heard of Pop-Tarts, but this innovative sweet snack allows you to bake your own mini Kit Kats in just 2 minutes. When baked in a toaster oven, the sugar content in the bite-sized bar hardens faster than the outer chocolate melts, transforming it into a wafer biscuit that emits a heavenly caramel scent. The Bacon Tasty debuted in 2014 with 2 flavors, chocolate and custard pudding, and is still yet to make its way overseas. Before you think about baking regular Kit Kats, you should know that Nestle already released a disclaimer for you. It just won't work. Aero. If you're from the UK, the trusty Aero probably won't seem all that exciting. But in the US, we can only hope to get our hands on one of these candy bars. Although Nestle produces Aero in a whole host of countries outside the UK, including Japan, Canada, and South Africa, America just isn't one of them. The well-loved chocolate bar was once launched here in the 1980s, but it didn't take off and production was pulled soon after.
It's just filled with air. It's like bubbled chocolate. It's so light.
What makes it so unique is that the chocolate center is aerated to create thousands of tiny bubbles which collapse and melt in the mouth. You certainly won't forget your first Aero experience. You might just have to search a little harder to find one nowadays. MUSK sticks. It would be hard to understand exactly what you're looking at if you came across a bag of musk sticks at your local store, but unless you're from Australia or New Zealand, it's unlikely that'll ever happen. These traditional candies are somewhat controversial, and they were even entered into Sweden's disgusting food museum in 2018. But what's so off-putting about these humble pink sticks? Maybe it's their unusual shape or chalky texture. Or perhaps it's their distinctive potpourri-like scent, which one online reviewer described as old ladies at the bus stop. Yummy.
Oh my gosh. My palate deems this strange.
Although their unique musk flavor, which was obtained from the scent gland of the Himalayan musk deer, is definitely not for everyone, this nostalgic treat still has a place in the heart of many. The Australian supermarket chain Woolworths reportedly sells 24 million musk sticks a year, so there's definitely something about these perfume-scented candies that keeps fans coming back for more. Kinder Surprise. For most countries, Kinder eggs are a staple of nostalgic childhood fun. First, you've got the delicious egg, which is both milk and white chocolate at the same time. And then the best part, the hidden toy inside. Most American kids will never know the joy of the Kinder Egg though, because they've been banned in the US since the 1930s when the surprise plastic capsule was deemed a potential choking hazard by the FDA. In 2011 alone, more than 60,000 Kinder Eggs were seized by US Customs and Border Protection. From 2017, Americans were able to get their hands on a slightly different variation named Kinder Joy, which contains spoonable layers of cocoa and milk cream. But the sad truth is that nothing beats the original. Coffee Crisp. If you ask a Canadian how they like their coffee, there's a good chance they might just say crisp. Nestle's Coffee Crisp is one of the most popular candy bars in Canada, and for good reason. It consists of layers of crisp vanilla wafers sandwiched between coffee-flavored candy and then coated in rippled milk chocolate.
Really quite good. I could have it a bit more coffee flavored, but it's really quite good.
Having been made since 1939, this sweet treat is a staple of many Canadian households, but it's always been just out of reach for us Americans. One online petition even campaigned for 6 years to bring the Coffee Crisp to the US, and in July 2006, Nestle finally started marketing the candy bar in America. This was sadly short-lived though, because by 2009, Nestle decided to discontinue all US distribution. Americans consume a whopping 400 million cups of coffee a day, making us the world's leading consumer of coffee. So surely it's about time we got our hands on the Coffee Crisp for good, right? Tim Tams. Without a doubt, the humble Tim Tam is one of the biggest candies in Australia, consisting of 2 malted biscuits separated by a light chocolate cream filling and then dipped in a chocolate coating. The Tim Tam is more of a biscuit than a candy bar. This beloved treat was created by Ian Norris, who discovered the British penguin biscuit in 1958 and decided to make a better one. They may seem like a simple snack, but the Tim Tam is actually a pretty versatile candy.
So now that I've formed the straw, I'm going to place the bottom of the Tim Tam into my coffee and then suck it through the top. Alright, here we go.
The Tim Tam Slam is a popular Aussie tradition which involves breaking off the opposite corners of the biscuit and attempting to drink a hot beverage using a Tim Tam as a makeshift straw. Eventually, the crisp biscuit begins to soften and the outer chocolate melts, allowing you to pop it in your mouth. Tim Tams were slowly rolled out in the US from 2017, but they're still harder to come by than your everyday Oreo. De La Rosa Mazapan. These intriguing round discs are often considered the ultimate Mexican candy, and if you've ever had one, you'll know that the experience is quite unlike anything else. Despite what the packaging would have you believe, De La Rosa Mazapan is not flavored with fragrant rose, but is likened to a sort of peanut marzipan taste explosion instead. In fact, the only key ingredients are crushed peanuts, honey, and sugar. De La Rosa Mazapan is frequently found in stockings at Christmas time and is also a favorite filling for piñatas. There's only one problem. Each piece is so prone to crumbling that it almost always makes a mess, and unwrapping one without it falling apart is considered a major achievement. For now, the closest thing Americans can get to this authentic Mexican candy is probably a Butterfinger. Lightning Bugs Candy. Plenty of candies around the world experiment with different flavors and textures, but have you ever tried one which lights up when you touch it? Allow me to introduce you to Lightning Bugs Candy, which originated in China. Believe it or not, these worm-shaped gummies, which come in strawberry and sour lemon flavor, haven't been scientifically modified to glow when touched. But the magic lies in the special pair of purple tweezers instead. Each pair is fitted with special LEDs which automatically switch on when one of the candy grubs is pinched between them. These candies are especially perfect for kids at Halloween, and eating worms has never been so fun. Violet ABBAYE de FLAVINGY Anise Drops. These traditional French candies are petite in size and boast a delicate taste unlike anything you've ever experienced before. They get their name from the anise plant, which produces seeds that have a warm, spicy flavor and a distinctly aromatic scent. To create these unique candies, anise seeds are harvested and placed in large pans before being covered in sugar syrup and rolled about like snowballs. This is a long and arduous process that has been used since the 17th century, and it takes 15 days to transform one tiny seed weighing under 2 milligrams into a smooth stone-like 1 gram candy. The anise drops are then naturally flavored with mint, orange blossom, rose, or violet and sold in decorative tins or bags. Lovers of this candy suggest letting the drops melt on your tongue until you get to the crunchy seed hidden in the center. Pelon Pelo Rico. Most of us are familiar with the same old flavors when it comes to candy, from caramel and peanut butter to classic fruits like strawberry or orange. But Mexico's popular Pelon Pelo Rico candy has a unique flavor you'll be unlikely to find in the US. This strange-looking green tube is packed full of tamarind-flavored golden goo, which can be squeezed out and eaten like a push-up pop. The tamarind is an unusual fruit that has a potent flavor which is hard to liken to anything else, and the Pelon Pelo Rico is often described as tasting sweet, salty, and spicy all at once. Sounds intriguing, right? Some recount the experience as like eating mild hot sauce, while many Mexican natives have fond memories of eating this candy as a child. Those have got to be some strong taste buds. Moco Moco Mocolet. Japan is home to some of the wackiest food products out there, and yet Japanese manufacturers continue to surprise and entertain us with things like this. Believe it or not, this box, which is a total Lisa Frank nightmare, actually contains candy, which just so happens to come in the form of an emoji-fied toilet. Thankfully, the toilet isn't the edible part of this product, but it still has a big part to play. Inside the box you'll find all the pieces to assemble your own toilet, along with decorative stickers and a sachet of mysterious powder to pour inside. After filling the tank with water, the bowl slowly starts to fill and eventually foam over in a seriously unappealing way. How does the eating part of this candy work, you ask? Using the handy straw provided, you simply drink the toilet water, which has now become a frothy Coca-Cola or cider-flavored mixture. There's even a bathtub variation of this candy known as Moco Moco Afuro, which features adorably brightly colored foaming tubs. It may seem totally gross, but this is one seriously inventive candy I'm sure loads of American kids would love to get their hands on. As long as they don't replicate it in real life. Which of these candies from around the world would you most like to try? What's your home country's favorite candy? Let me know in the comments down below, and as always, thanks for watching.